Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. So, Andrew Yang was on The View here recently. And I think that if we weren't certain before with some of the hosts on The View, specifically people like Whoopi Goldberg, um, if you weren't sure she was a Yang Gang prior to that, you probably now see or believe or at least feel confirmed that she is Yang Gang. I think Megan McCain as well. Very conservative. Her father, the late John McCain. Um, both of them seem to me to be the type of people who will move to good policies uh, if it comes their way. John McCain did the same thing, and I think Megan is similar on the same thing. So, to me, she seems like she would definitely vote for Andrew Yang. Also, if we really look at it, how likely is it that Megan McCain would vote for Donald Trump? Probably not likely after the big situation with her father, and it's probably not going to happen. It was a great show, comparably different from Andrew's first appearance on The View. The first appearance on The View is kind of like, here's this guy trying to give Americans $1,000 with this odd plan that kind of feels like he's trying to buy votes or something, and this plan that's supposed to solve every problem in America. That's how it started off. Now he's a serious, respected candidate who's defeating senators in their own states and leading the pack against seasoned, career-wide politicians. So, wow, how things change. How the tables have turned, right? So, it was a great show. I didn't see anything wrong with it at all. Of course, they did try to bring up the situation with the employee, right? They're going to have to do that. And Andrew, I thought he handled it well. He didn't go into great detail about it, but he did tell the actions he took and deny any claims that, there was any inappropriate behavior on his part. And I can tell you that listening to Andrew right off the bat, I believed Andrew Yang, everything he says, because number one, Andrew Yang finished law school. He spent 5-6 months as a lawyer. Let's think about that for a moment, right? You've been in law school for several months. You have your law degree. You've passed the bar exam. You understand the seriousness of doing certain things in the workplace and being sued for it. It is very unlikely an attorney is going to put themselves in that situation. So, putting that aside from just me thinking Andrew Yang is one of the most decent candidates on the trail, just his professional background, I think would not allow that to happen, or at least not very quickly. So he handled that well, put it out there. All he needed to do is answer the question. No, that is not true. She lied. Point blank. Let's move on. And so they talked about his hundreds of policies, right? Now, every time it comes up that the idea or even the suggestion of the idea that Andrew Yang's freedom dividend is supposed to solve all these problems, right? What are those hundreds of policies on his website all about? That makes the freedom dividend right there in itself one policy amongst hundreds of policies. So once you go from freedom dividend to, as president, Andrew Yang wishes to basically implement hundreds of these policies. I think it's quite clear that Andrew Yang's not trying to say that the freedom dividend or even has a plan or a process that is suggesting it's the freedom dividend and nothing else is going to solve everything. Great show. He has gained more respect and more supporters, definitely. Every time he comes on The View, that's a good thing. People who maybe were sitting on the fence that first time uh, got to see this episode of The View. That might have been enough to move Andrew Yang right over the hump with them, right? To get them right on his side. Let's talk about impeachment again. Andrew's view on impeachment. It finally did come up. Andrew Yang supports impeachment of Donald Trump. And I agree with that. I think it's time for Andrew Yang to take that position. I think he's made a good case about Donald Trump being the symptom and not the problem. I think initially, his kind of decision to stay out of the prior ideas of impeachment where the Democrats were trying to just use whatever they could because they didn't have any good candidates or definitive case against Donald Trump, was not a good time for Andrew Yang to talk about impeachment. Now with more details and more laws being broken by Donald Trump, essentially, now is the time for Andrew Yang to support impeachment and get tough on Trump policy. Remember, when it comes down to it and Andrew's debating against Donald Trump, those type of things are going to have to be brought up. And, I do like the idea of Andrew Yang just talking about fixing America and the freedom dividend, but that is not how the debate's going to work. Donald Trump's going to be coming at Andrew Yang hard, and there's going to be necessary for Andrew Yang to move in directions why Trump isn't the best fit for our country and nation and why he needs to go. And so it's going to be necessary to have many things in the arsenal to use that against Donald Trump, as Donald Trump's going to try to use everything he can against Andrew Yang. So Andrew is going to have to defend himself to a great degree. And I think as now he's siding with impeachment, it's clear that Andrew's saying, well, yeah, now it is the time to move on this. Now it is more, a lot more information out there as to, and more supportive information as to why an impeachment process needs to start on Donald Trump. So I think that's a good move for Andrew. And I think it's going to definitely help him get either more Trump supporters or get people who are independent sitting on the fence to kind of go, well, you know what? At the end of the day, we do possibly have a president who is a criminal. Even though we might like him, even though we might feel he tells it as it is, we have a president that is ready to break the law, to stay in office, right? It's a severe ethics issue there, no matter what the reason he does it and why. He could have easily just turned to someone, the State Department, whoever, to handle this, but he's going on these one-on-one calls with people and putting himself out there. We do have to come to the understanding and come to terms with, we have a president who not only thinks he's above the law, he breaks the law, and he probably feels he can do anything he wants. And that's not a good situation for Americans. So Andrew Yang, I believe, is on the right track for that. But that's all I want to say in this video. Tell me, y'all, how did you think about The View? If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go watch it. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.